everyone, I am back again to share what I have learned best from the Assessment in Learning 2 or the Ed 305 class. Again, I am Renaisan Mamac, a third-year college student of Negros Oriental State University. In every classroom, there are different types of learners, and each of them learns differently. And as a teacher, you need to ensure fairness in assessing students, especially to those students who have exceptional needs, which is our today's topic, entitled Assessment to Students with Exceptional Needs. So who are the students with exceptional needs? These are the students who require special education and related services. It includes gifted or talented students and those students who have disabilities. It is common for a student with exceptionalities to be taught in a general education classroom, and special education needs an appropriate assessment accommodation. To ensure fairness or accuracy in gathering evidences for their learning, inclusion has been used or known as the inclusive education. So what is an inclusive education? Inclusive education is providing education to specially abled students along with normal students, and also by providing facilities and normal atmosphere as given to the normal students, where it creates confidence in differently abled children. Inclusive education helps to realize one's own importance in the society. Differently abled children sees themselves as a part of the society and they have their own capacities. It helps to overcome inferiority complex. It also helps to develop their abilities by mingling with other normal students. Differently abled children develops their own abilities and capacities. Inclusive education provides them to involve in all activities like a normal child. Teachers are responsible for adhering regulations with students in inclusive setting. And every student identified with disability has their different weaknesses and strengths. And a variety of accommodation may be needed for multiple children in a single classroom. A single student receiving special education services may have more than one identified disability. First is the intellectual disability. It is where students have limitations in their cognitive functioning and skills. The teacher's role is to document their adaptive behaviors which are needed for normal functioning in daily living situations, just like their eating habits, personal hygiene, coping, and motor skills. Next is the sensory impairments. It is when one of your senses like sight, smell, hearing, touch, taste, and spatial awareness is no longer normal. The teacher's role is to document visual or auditory and always have vision and hearing assessed. Next is the speech and language disorder. Those are the students who demonstrate difficulty with communication or a voice impairment, where students have problems with the sound quality of their voices, which can affect communication, just like stuttering and difficulties in expressing and understanding verbal languages. The teacher's role is to document communication behaviors. Next is the physical and health impairments. It limits their ability to physically move, especially in engaging themselves with the classroom learning environment. The teacher's role is to observe effects of disability on their academic performance and encourage independence. Then we have specific learning disability. It is a disorder in one or more of the basic psychological processes involved in understanding or in using language. The teacher's role is to document their learning problems as well as their achievement. Then the emotional and behavioral disorder, where it is an emotional disability characterized by an inability to build or maintain satisfactory interpersonal relationships with peers and or teachers. And the teacher's role is to document inappropriate behaviors and feelings of students. Also, treating them fairly without any biases and always reward their positive behavior. Then, the autism, which is a developmental disorder that affects communication and behavior. The teacher's role is to observe their communication, social interaction, and associated behaviors. And also for the gifted students, which are similarly considered as exceptional learners, where they also need assessment accommodations which is relevant for meeting their needs and to further develop their unique capabilities. Authentic assessments may be used like written essays or problem solving. Assessment is very helpful for this type of learners For assessment is defined as a systematic basis for making inferences about the learning and development of students. The goal when assessing student learning is to obtain a fair and accurate indication of performance, because sometimes students with this ability are more sensitive than the other students to feel embarrassment. Sometimes they just hide what they feel just to avoid embarrassment. Here are some problems of the student that impact classroom assessment. First is the comprehension difficulties. They may not well understand verbal or written directions. Then the auditory difficulties. They are sensitive to auditory distraction in the classroom. They easily get distracted by the different noises in their surroundings. The visual difficulties, which is the difficulty in transferring information from the board to the paper. They have difficulty in processing what they see and visual distractions just like classmates passing in front of him or her, which can be a problem. The time constraint difficulties. They have a problem in completing assessments and they must not be penalized for being unable to complete a test on time. Then the anxiety, where they have a problem in completing assessments for they fear that their disability will make it difficult to complete a test. Also the embarrassment, where students with disabilities wants to be treated equally with the normal students. Sometimes if they have a hard time in understanding direction, they will just keep it so that they won't feel embarrassed. Then the last is the variability of behaviors, where students' behavior, especially to students with disabilities, may vary considerably and is difficult to predict. For the teachers, they need to be flexible with these unpredictable behaviors of the students. Treat all the students in a consistently fair manner, because allowing exceptions will open you up to accusations for being unfair. And that would be all for our video for today, and I hope that you've learned something in assessing students with exceptional needs.